Welcome back to another video, everybody. So today we are going to be doing some plowing. So you can see behind me here we have our first pass done, or second pass done. So if you're unfamiliar with what we're doing, this over here is a Moldboard plow. Some guys still use them, but not a lot of guys do. You still see them around, but yeah. This is an International 720. We're running 18-inch bottoms on here, 18-inch, call them Moldboards. So they're a decent sized Moldboard for a 4-furrow plow. This plow, we rebuilt everything last year with the exception of these discs. And I would like to rebuild the discs, and I had some, but they did not fit, the ones that I had. So somewhere, something along the line got a little bit mixed up, so that's unfortunate, but the dirt is turning over really well still, so I really can't complain too much. So I'm happy with how it's going. A lot of guys nowadays you'll see, like, this is a alfalfa field here. It's been in alfalfa or hay for 4 years now. What they'll do is they'll now spray it dead, and then they'll turbo till it, or whatever, vertical tillage. For us, this is a good way to work it up, incorporate all of that, call it organic matter as well, and all the manure that we put on. So what I'm hoping to do this year is that this stuff over here, since it's turning over so nice and loose, is that we can plow everything and then we can turbo till it once and plant corn. That's what I'm hoping, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we have done our 2 outside passes around the field, one on that side, one on this side. But this field is actually pretty wide, so I'm gonna split it down the middle to save us some driving time. So what I did this morning is I counted the field out in paces, or in steps. The field was 270 steps wide or something like that. So then I walked 135 from that edge over, and I put somewhere in the dirt over here a shovel to mark it, which is what I'm currently looking for, where I put that. Right there, pretty hard to see. And then I did that on the other end as well, count 135. I don't know how square I ended up, but it is better than a guess. I drop it in the dirt. This end of the field's a little wetter, so it's not going to turn over as nice. But when we get to the drier part, it should turn over a little better. This tractor's actually set up really nice for plowing. Just the way that the 2-point hitch works and everything over here, I'm able to set a height and just come back to it every time. You can see it's turning over a lot better now where it's drier. The alfalfa is probably a good, I don't know, half a foot tall maybe. You can see we're having no problem just turning it into dirt. There you go. We're working on our second pass now. So, pretty easy. If you haven't seen this before, you stick your tire in the dead furrow there, and within reason it won't crawl out, so you can get pretty angled, the steering wheel. So, yeah, it makes it pretty easy once you right there in the field. So it is turning over great. So now that we have gone around this section enough, like I should explain it a little better. So now I've worked outside and outside a little bit, and this middle part here is now wide enough that I can just run around here, turn. Then I don't have to drive as far. That is why we split the field down the middle. This is about a 15-acre field, so it would make for a lot of extra driving if we didn't split it. I have the hoses plumbed in the wrong way right now. That's why I keep getting mixed up with this, but I haven't changed it yet. Alright, I got a flat tire. All the tires on this tractor are original. These ones have 5,800 hours on them, and this is the one that went flat. So, I don't know if we'll just fix it or if we'll get two front new ones. We'll see. It's currently around lunchtime. But what I've been doing is I've been plowing down this hill here now, because this land here has never been farmed yet. There's 5 acres down here that we cleared. It's gonna get tiled, but we've been waiting to tile it for those piles to be gone and cleaned up and stuff like that. but we decided that maybe we can farm up to the piles, so that'll be a good 2/3 of this area. So a little bit more land, make a nicer field so we aren't farming along the ridge here all the time. So that's what I've been doing, just plowing down the hill so that the dirt can be nice and level. All right, it is now the following day. It's now May 13. So I ended the day yesterday with a flat tire. Now it's this one here. So we called the tire shop and they're really busy. They said they'd fit it in. So generally we change tires in a set, but somehow yesterday and all the craziness and everything that was going on, we only got one new tire. So at some point this one's gonna get changed. We have already called the tire shop and we're getting our name on the other one of these, because I don't like to only change one at a time. You're really not supposed to, so I don't fully know what happened there, but we had a bit of a day yesterday as well. So the tractor's down there and I had a flat tire, and the tire truck ended up getting stuck in the mud while he was over here as well. So that made things a little bit of a mess. So what we ended up doing is we fixed the tire and we tried to pull him out with the tractor. We couldn't get him out, so we called up good friends of ours. They have a big 350 horsepower Challenger tractor and they pulled him out of the mud. Yeah, so that was a day yesterday. So we did not get any more plowing done, but we are back out here again today, and we are hopefully going to finish this field off. But that was yesterday, so today is a new day, and hopefully it'll go a little better. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see alright. I figured I would give you the chance to see what I can see. Here, I'm gonna up my screen brightness real quick. Alright, so now hopefully you can see what I can see. So this is my drone controller. My drone is right out there on the hood. So I'm gonna take off. And then if you look, turn around, you can see us on the screen. So this is my drone and controller. It's a DJI Mini 2. Then I just bought one of the basic controllers that hooks up to my cell phone, because I found that was a pretty good and economic way to do it. So I landed the drone a little while ago. I was trying to stow you back there, but the rock wasn't big enough for it. This is an automatic reset plow. So if we hit a rock, there's springs in those little black cylinders over there. And the furrow will come up and it'll automatically reset. And that way you don't stall out the tractor if you hit a big rock in the field and you don't break anything. But it's working up really nice now that I have it set a little better, and now that I got my ground speed figured out again. That first pass there was a little rougher. The dirt didn't fully turn over as nice. And now what we're doing is we're just working to the edge of the field here, not down the hill anymore, because the guys that are gonna finish cleaning this up for us are actually gonna come tomorrow, and then sometime this summer we're gonna get it tiled versus working down the hill the rest of the way. We've just been waiting for a lot of stuff to happen here. One of them is to get the piles cleaned up before we tile. So that's what we got going on. Alright, so I stopped for lunch, but I only have a little bit left. Small little sliver over there, and then everything you see over here. And then we'll be done. So I brought Indy along for the last little bit. But the dirt is turning over really nicely on this side of the field. And there you go. We have the field all worked up. So it rained a little bit for the last bit of the field, but there was hardly any left, so I just kind of pushed through it and finished it off. And then one of the coulters ended up falling off, but that's fine, just the bolts. Alright, we're gonna power wash the plow now. I've already gone ahead and pulled off all of the grass that was on it, so now I'm gonna power wash all the dirt off, and then we'll oil everything again. And there we go. It's everything all cleaned up. See, we lost a couple of bolts here or there, so we'll have to get some new ones of those for next year. And then after everything dries up, I'm gonna go along and tighten everything, because some of the stuff has a little bit of play in it. Then we'll oil it, then we can park it for the year. And then hopefully by next year we'll have all of the other stuff looked after again. We really don't use this thing a lot anymore. This year it only did 15 acres. 15 acres for 4 bottoms really is not a lot of acres each. That's 4 acres per furrow, so hardly putting any wear on them, but that's fine. Alright, it is the next day now. I have now gone ahead and oiled all of the moldboards and the coulters, and have gone along and tightened up all of the bolts again. So this thing is ready to be put away. It will still rust even with the oil on it, but I find it helps a lot. I should have shown you overnight. The bare metal will put a little bit of surface rust on stuff, versus when you oil it, it'll be good for 2-3 months. And then I find that all that rust will come off pretty well instantly. So now we're gonna start working on this thing. So the cab is in need of some cleaning. But the seat right now has an airbag out of it. So one of these things, this is an airbag. Current one has a hole in it, and it'll keep losing air pressure. So I bought a new one. This thing was like 300 bucks actually, so pretty good hunk of change. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that changed out now. We actually have to, I think, pull the seat out, or we'll see.